It's the largest map in Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the start of the map rotation. You know it because you've had to play it a million times, and today we're going to take a look at Kashyyyk. It's best to let the Wookiees win. Kashyyyk is the largest map in Star Wars Battlefront 2, and one of the easiest to play on the attack and the hardest on defense. This map is extremely straightforward, and we're going to cover all three phases in one video, since while this map is huge in comparison to others, there's not much that really needs to be covered. In this video, we'll go over the objectives in each phase, a few sniper spots since this map is so wide open, and while I'm going to try to keep my personal feelings to myself till the end, I do view this map as one of the worst in the game for Galactic Assault. Since I don't believe in bringing up a problem without a solution, I'll include a simple way they could improve this map. The overlays you'll be seeing during this video can be found at starwarsgaming.net, and they were kind enough to let us use them for this video in order to give you the most comprehensive look we could at Kashyyyk and so far Tatooine. They also provide a lot of details I'm not going to cover in these videos, so be sure to check them out to get a full look at the map and come up with some of your own ideas as well. There's a link in the description down below, so be sure to check them out and then mark them as a favorite so you can get there quickly to keep up to date with all things happening in the Star Wars gaming universe. They truly are a great site and a wonderful resource for the Star Wars gaming community. If you enjoy these map guide videos, hit that like button to let me know, and then subscribe so you don't miss when the next video comes out. New videos are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and streams on Tuesdays, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central. Streams are open to everyone, so if you want to play, send me a friend request and I'm on the PS4 and you can always join in. So let's get started. Man, my segues are going to be amazing this video. Segue! Phase 1 for the attacking team is very easy, and I have never seen this map end on Phase 1 with two teams of an equal player count. But to be fair, I also usually leave every time this map comes up, since for the longest time I got this map every time I played and I got sick of it pretty quick. The attacking team's job is to just escort the MTT off the beach to just outside two downed tanks. The spawn point for the attackers moves up with the MTTs and it'll advance 4 times throughout Phase 1. Each time the attacker's spawn moves up, the defender's spawn will move back. The overlay on your screen now is the path the MTTs will take to get to their final point. As the defenders, this is one of 3 maps that you have to take down 2 MTTs or AT-ATs. And like the others that have the same objective, you'll have 3 ion launchers available for pickup in order to lock on and take down the objective. Once the MTTs are hit, it will be open for damage from pretty much anything that can shoot, and you'll want to turn all of your focus towards the MTTs for damage if you want a chance to win in Phase 1, or what most people seem to aim for, those sweet, sweet battle points. So how do you know when it's time to shoot the MTT? Well, on the MTT or AT-ATs, you'll see 3 different symbols. 2 if you never pick up an ion launcher. The first one is a lock. This means that the MTT is unable to take any damage no matter how much you shoot at it. This also means the MTT is going to continue to move forward at full pace. If you pick up an ion launcher, you'll see another symbol, and this one will have an outline of the ion launcher on it and text that will say out of range or fire. If you see out of range, you need to simply move closer in order to acquire a lock on, and if you're close enough, it says fire. You just need to be able to see a small portion of the target in order to lock on, and once the ion launcher is fired, everyone will see a target marker at that point where the lock used to be, and they can go ahead and shoot at the MTT. Now in these map guides, generally I want to try to cover flanking routes, but let's be honest, Kashyyyk has limited to no cover on 2/3 of the map. The only position that actually has any cover at all is on the right hand side if you're a clone, and the left if you're a droid. So instead of flanking routes, here's an overlay with some sniper spots. The entire side of the map away from the MTTs is great for sniping. Since there's no objectives at all on this side of the map, you can pretty much snipe all day from over here and never get ran up on for close range. You may get counter-sniped, but that can happen anywhere on this map. Otherwise, most snipers are going to hang out on rooftops or on building tops, since you can pretty much get on top of every single building in this map. So just keep an eye up there to be sure that you're clear of those pesky snipers. This next overlay is the 3 spider heavy spots that I have found. Since this map is so open, if you spider heavy on top of a downed MTT, you can place an ion turret, as annoying as they are, and it can pretty much shoot all the way to Phase 3. If you don't know what spider heavy is, there's a card coming up on your screen now on how you can do it. For Phase 1, you normally will do really good until you get pushed into the tree line area. At this point in Phase 1, the two MTTs get so close together. If someone is trying to run up and fire the ion launcher, normally both MTTs will have a gunner and they will take you down in a second. So don't get cocky if you're doing well up until the third part of Phase 1. Part 3 and 4 are by far the hardest to get the ion launchers off. Generally on Kashyyyk, I only focus on firing the ion launchers, and if I get annoyed or just end up on a team that doesn't go anywhere near the objective, I'll hop in the air and just do some strafing runs. It's really easy to do on this map, a lot like Hoth Phase 1, and generally Phase 1 Kashyyyk as a clone, I don't go for kills at all unless someone is on my way to the ion launcher or trying to kill me while I have it. So that's basically Phase 1. Get the ion launchers, fire them, and shoot at the MTT. It sounds easy, but it takes so much in order to take them both down. And with the positions of the two MTTs and the gunners in them during the last portion of this phase, it gets really hard. Phase 2. Phase 2 is a little bit harder for the attacking team, depending on how many people from the defense are in the two objective ships. In this phase, the attacking team has to get in the two ships on opposite sides of basically an open field and plant a bomb. Once the bomb is planted, you just have to defend it till it goes off. Each ship is 100% identical and only has two entrances that can only be accessed through an outside walkway, each of which has two staircases. Basically, Phase 2 is just an open field with 2 buildings and 4 choke points total. Once you get inside the objectives, you pretty much won the phase, since it's so easy to defend. But getting inside can be hard, unless you have a decent Palpatine or a very good Bosk. Then it can be pretty easy, since these two heroes have great AoE abilities and can take out players very quickly. The light side doesn't have these AoE style heroes. I guess Han has a detonate charge, but it's nowhere near as strong as the dark side's AoE. The light side also spawns inside the ship. If you're lucky enough to have 2 decent tank drivers, they can pretty much post up on the ramp and just cut off reinforcements completely from getting out of the spawn point. And if not tanks, some good strafing pilots can fly through the rebel spawn area and take out a spawn as well. If you're on the defense in this phase, it's important to get to the objectives as quickly as possible and as early as possible, and do your best to hold it as long as you possibly can. If you die, try entering through the door closest to your own spawn. It's going to be on the right side of both tanks. That way you can get back in as quickly as you can. In this one, it's all about making sure you hold the door. Still too soon? But once it's lost, you're pretty much done here. If you have battle points, please use them for reinforcements, especially Wookiees, since it's a lot easier to hold if you have Wookiees in there with their thermal imploders. And officers, you need to drop them turrets at angles towards the door, not in the doorway themselves. The turrets in the doorways can't lock on fast enough to fire at the enemy as they run past, but if you place them a little further back and at an angle, they can lock on as soon as they enter the building. Once you've held back 100 troopers maximum, the game will end and you'll finally be able to move on to the Death Star 2, or at least move on to the next round of Kashyyyk. To Phase 3! Finally, we come to Phase 3, which is actually really good if the droids can get through the entrance to the ship. This is the only close quarters area on this map, and has tons of cover. There are 2 objectives again, and it's bomb game mode again, much like Phase 2. This one is all about the CQC, and can get a little more intense since the boxes are pretty high and hard to see around in third person. Granted, usually by this point, one team has completely given up since it's been an hour. I'm joking, relax. But really, usually one team does get rolled in this phase. If you are attacking, it's important that you push through the doorway up the ramp as quickly as possible. The longer you take and try to pick people off from the doorway into the hangar, the harder it's going to be to get in, since everyone on the enemy team is going to move up. The last few times I played this map, it's ended with the droids never making it into the ship, and ranged heroes just locking it down. If the droids are able to get in, it's best for them to push as far as possible, since the clones are going to spawn at the very back of the ship. There's not really much in terms of flanks or anything here, it's just push and hold the objective, and like most of the map, the action only takes place in 2/3 of the map, since the middle portion is a wide open area, and running across it can be a death trap. You can get on top of all of the ships inside of the hangar bay, so if you're attacking or even defending, if you want to snipe, keep that in mind. A lot of people don't look up there and you can usually get quite a few kills. Clones, you just need to hold the main door and it's over. You had one job, Hodor. Man, I can't wait till the last season comes out. For this next portion, these views are my own and not necessarily shared by anyone else who's helped me with this video. So if you want to hear why I don't like this map, here we go. So why I don't like this map. This map wastes way too much land area. Phase 1, all the ion launchers are in the yellow highlighted area, the red line is the out of bounds line, and 1/3 of the map is never used. Not only is the area not used, it's like they just ran out of time and just dropped 1 or 2 downed ships in an area for cover and said, that's good enough. For phase 1, a simple change and fix to this would be just to spread out the ion launchers and drop a few more downed MTTs or droid tanks for debris. So that way it'll actually look like a battle rage there and not just 3 lost MTTs randomly got shot down. Or have the spider tanks that roll through the unused portion at the start of the map go down the middle and blow up. That way they'll provide cover on their debris. Phase 1 just looks really unfinished when you compare the two sides of the map. When we moved to Phase 2 again, they just took 2 objective tanks and plopped them on either side of an open field and checked out. It's boring. Instead of the bombs going inside the tank, can we at least put them under the tank or on the wheels or something at least? Make it closer to Starkiller Phase 1 as opposed to Naboo Phase 2. Where the 2 objectives have a decent line of sight and different kinds of cover to move between. It doesn't look like a battle rage tier as much as 2 random tanks decided to park outside in the field for a picnic. I actually like Phase 3, so I don't really have anything here that needs to be changed. Maybe add a second entrance, but I'm not sure how they would do that and keep the aesthetic of the phase. So I'm sure I'm going to get the dislikes for this portion, but that's how I feel. Every time this map comes out, I leave the game and research because it does take so long to get through a Kashyyyk match compared to every other map in the game. I think a few simple changes to this map, spreading out the launchers on Phase 1, moving the droids up closer to the MTTs as they spawn in as it moves forward, would definitely make this map a lot more fun to play. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe not so much the last portion, but I enjoyed it, so I will see you in game.